Agitations trail APC leadership zoning, arraignment of the National Assembly leadership positions as Senate President aspirants today took a protest to the National Working Committee of the party in Abuja. And President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Chief Emmanuel Unwanyawu today presented a passionate appeal to President Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu before he exits office on the 29th of May. Thank you so much indeed, everyone, for staying with us. We sincerely apologize for the delay and the outage in reaching out to you since the top of the hour. But let's get started with the program, everyone. We'd like to let you know that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says by tomorrow, Friday, the 12th of May, 2023, it will publish the personal particulars of the candidates in the state headquarters and local government offices in the three states of Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State, where there will be governorship election later this year. After the commission released a timetable and schedule of activities for the three off-cycle governorship elections holding on Saturday, 11th of November 2023, political parties conducted their primaries as required by law and uploaded names and personal particulars of their candidates and running mates to the INEC candidate nomination portal by the deadline of 6 p.m. on 5th of May. INEC is now appealing to Nigerians to scrutinize the list, which will be made public from tomorrow. In particular, any aspirant who participated in his or party primaries with reasonable grounds to believe that the information provided by the candidate is false can challenge a nomination at the Federal High Court as provided in Section 29, Sub 5 of the Electoral Act 2022. Well, there was an event earlier today in Oguta in Imo State, where the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Chief Emmanuel Unwanyawu, gave a passionate appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari to release the leader of the indigenous people of the Afro-IPOB, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, before the president exits office on the 29th of May. He made the appeal at the flag of the dredging and hydrographic survey of the proposed sea access route of the Urashi-Uguata waterways in Imo State earlier today. Take a listen to Chief Onwayo.
Our Vice President, tell our brother, our son Buhari, that Ohaneze Ndigbo, the over 60 million Igbos request that he should release Nnamdi Kanu. He should release Nnamdi Kanu. Igbos are not seceding. I don't see why anybody should say Igbos are seceding. Igbos are everywhere. We have investments. Are we going to leave our investments? So please, I am passing this message to him because he is my president in Nigeria. But in the Ohaneze, he has been honored by us and he's a member. So he's my subject there. I am now telling him that Nnamdi Kanu should be released before he departs. We are going to be very grateful.
Of course, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, was present at that event, which was hosted by the Governor of Imo State, Senator Uzodimma. It was the flag of the dredging of an hydrographic survey of the proposed sea access route of the Urashi-Uguata waterways in Oguta in Imo State, where the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo officially made the flag off. And during the flag off ceremony at the bank of the Oguta Lake in Oguta local government area of Imo State, the Vice President says the project is an economic transformation project that will hugely benefit Imo State, Nigeria, and the entire West Africa. He says the project will also stimulate exports and import as well as help the Nigerian Navy check crude oil theft along the region. I'm now being joined tonight on the program by the Executive Governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodimma, who joins us live from Owerri in the Imo State capital. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight. And perhaps maybe our congratulations might be in order. We would like to get to understand this project. What is the significance of this project? In layman terms, why should the people of Imo State bother about this dredging and the hydrographic survey?
Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. The entire situation, I found myself in Imo State as the governor, a state that has been challenged very seriously in terms of insecurity occasioned by the activities of unknown government, banditry, crude oil theft, all types of criminality within Imo State. We spend so much money using kinetic and non-kinetic approach to see how we can ensure that there's peaceful existence in Imo State. So part of our strategy to solve the problem of insecurity is to do those things that to support our program. Things like ensuring that our creeks that have become a habitat for criminals, vandalizing crude oil pipelines, stealing crude oil from federal government, which amounts to economic sabotage, which also is telling on our economy as a state, reduce drastically the amount of money we get from the 13% derivation as defined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we conceived this project that is holistically meant to address the problem of insecurity, improve the economy of the state and indeed the southeastern states in this region. When you dredge the Oguta Lake from Oraj to Uzodimma up to the Atlantic Ocean, you would have cleared all the criminals on that route that are vandalizing crude oil pipelines, that are stealing federal government crude oil, that is putting us into this hardship of a reduction in our revenue generation. We would have done that. We would have addressed the issue of pollution, environmental degradation, and what is more, it will come with the economic activities. It will encourage commerce and trade. And residents in the various communities on that route will be empowered. Job creation will be enhanced. Our young boys and girls roaming the street for lack of what to do will gainfully be employed. So it comes with, apart from addressing the insecurity in the region or in the state, it will also come with job opportunities, reduce unemployment, empower our people, and enhance our revenue generating capacity as a state.
But,
so for me,
Governor Uzodimma,
the project is multifaceted.
Okay. So how much will this cost Imo State in terms of Naira and Kobo?
Well, it is an idea that we have just conceived. I have the concept note. And what is there is that because what we have done is the preliminary engineering. After the preliminary engineering, we will do the detailed engineering where the quantities will be established. And until that is done, the exact cost of the project will not be known. But conceptually thinking, what we have now is a memorandum of understanding with Nigerian Navy to generate the necessary data that will allow us to get the exact cost of the project. Things like the bathymetric survey, which I've started today, things like the geotechnical survey, things like the underwater engineering studies, environmental impact assessments. All these are different departments. The project is multifaceted, and I'm very confident that it's something worth doing. And by the grace of God, it will be realized.
I mean, as much as this is within the corridors and within the territory of Imo State, and this perhaps will impact on the economy of Imo State, of course, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria empowers the federal government to regulate and make laws for water from sources affecting more than one state, and as maybe declared by the National Assembly. And we do know there is a National Inland Waterways Authority Act. This is supposed to be the role and the responsibility of the federal government. Why is it that it is the Imo State government that is taking up this responsibility?
Well, the essence of government is to protect the citizens. Maritime security is the exclusive powers conferred by the Constitution to Nigerian Navy. And federal government is Nigerian Navy. Nigerian Navy is part of federal government. I've just told you we have an MOU to work with Nigerian Navy to ensure that the criminality along the region, me here sitting as a governor, this is a subnational government, an integral part of the federal government. And there's nothing that is not constitutional up to the time as I speak. The Nigerian Navy also, apart the powers to handle naval security, apart the powers, they are empowered by the Constitution and by law to also diversify and encourage other capabilities. As I speak to you, the number one hydrography of the country today is an officer of the Nigerian Navy. Nigerian Navy Holdings is also a commercial entity. And all over the world, globally thinking. What governs transactions and existence now is public-private partnership. So no man is an island. Well, the federal government cannot be an island. The subnational government cannot be an island. Other commercial entities cannot be an island. We must encourage partnership. Sheikh, there is a new thinking the world over. I'm a creative thinker. It's not about claiming you're right. It's about serving the people and making sure dividends of democracy are made available to the people. So forget about everything must not be politics. Oguta Lake is in Imo State. Orachi River is in Imo State. Degema River is in the River State. Atlantic Ocean belongs to all of us. And there is no federal government without state government. We are the same one and same thing. So what we are saying is that we are collaborating with the federal government to ensure that we have to make life more meaningful for our people.
So, in terms of Governor Uzodimma, have you measured what this project, when concluded, because you just flagged it off today, when concluded, in terms of Naira and Kobo, what kind of revenue will it be generating for Imo State, since you're spending Imo State money for this endeavor?
Well, I just told you that we are at the conceptual stage of the project. And the latest now is what that has been flagged up today is what we call the preliminary engineering. It is when we did, after the preliminary engineering, that we will now do the detailed engineering, by which time the necessary data required to have a very high integrity detailed engineering would have been gotten. However, from the point of concept, it is assumed that on completion, this project is capable of generating over 500,000 jobs. The agitation you see in the Southeast, the confusion you see in Nigeria, the radicalism you see among our youth population can be blamed on idleness, unemployment. And I'm sure that the federal government of Nigeria, under the leadership of President Muhammad Buhari, is interested in creating jobs for our Nigerian youths. And that is why federal government alone cannot do it. They have to partner with not only subnational government, even the private sector. So every good conscience in Nigeria, every good Nigerian who is interested in our national interests and the need to allow relative peace for government to really regulate the environment must be interested in creative thinking.
All right.
So that is what ideas rule the world.
Interesting. So let me take you quickly away from, because you are a leader of the APC in the Southeast, and now there's been an agitation that with what the APC leadership had done with the zoning of the National Assembly leadership, a National Assembly that you are a very experienced politician. You've played politics at that level. Now, I mean, what will you be telling your people? It does look to me that some of your friends and leaders in the APC in the Southeast are agitating and saying that the Southeast have been played out. They wanted to be the Senate president, but that slot have been taken away from them. What will you be telling your people? Because one of the things that you're saying is that you are going to defend the interests of the Southeast people, but it doesn't look like that interest has been protected.
Every political party, every democratic dispensation must be governed by rules. APC, as you know, is the largest political party today in Nigeria. And it is a rule-driven party. And what we practice in Nigeria is partisan democracy. Before you win an election, you must be sponsored by a political party. In 1983, the Supreme Court ruled in the case of RBK Okafor and Uzodimma that is not the individual that wins the election. It is the political party that wins the election. And the party loyalty is sacrosanct. And the meaning of power play and politics is that people must come together, sometimes disagree to be able to agree. APC has internal mechanism for resolving differences in our various political positions. So nothing unusual has happened. People are free to say how they feel. But once the party takes a position, I'm sure every loyal member of the party will follow.
So, I mean, your colleague governor, apologies, Senator Uzodimma, your colleague, governor of Ondo State, had come out to say that the zoning arrangement released by the party is a skewed arrangement. Do you buy his own argument? Do you see it from his own perspective?
Listen, we cannot begin to dance by the market square. What is important is that because it's a very large family, we will have divergent opinions and views. But at the right time, we will all come together to be able to agree. And once we agree, we'll move forward. I don't want to blame my colleague governor, neither will I want to blame anybody. But everybody has done that is saying whatever he's saying as his opinion. The views of individual views will be collected at the appropriate time. And the leadership of the party will look at these things, process them, and take a decision. And once that decision is taken, we will all follow.
Well, I mean, do you think that the Southeast should have the Senate presidency? Do you think so?
The position of who gets what in a political arrangement like political party is a decision of the leadership of the party. And we have processes through which we will arrive at a decision. Our president now is president-elect. The current president, President Mohamed Buhari, by 29th of this month, power will change hands. And that is when we enter the new dispensation. People are free to consult. People are free to aspire. It is not a crime. People are free to desire to be something. But at the end of the day, by the grace of God and the support of the majority membership of the party, a decision will be taken. And my opinion is that once the decision is taken, after this wide consultation, all of us will follow. Because what is more paramount and important is the survival of our great party, APC. So it is not a problem. So don't drink Panadol for another man's headache.
Okay, this is not me taking Panadol for the APC problem, but because this is national politics and interests some of us who are keen watchers, and we have to talk about it. But we take a break, Senator Uzodimma. I'd like to know how you hope to maneuver, because your party lost the presidential election in Imo State, and you are on the ballot. You will be on the ballot in November. How do you hope I mean, that's your name anyways. How do you hope to meander to the Labour Party tsunami that have swept through the southeast region of the country in that election. Stay with me. We need to go on a break. And when we come back, everyone, we'll be talking about that with Governor Uzodimma. And of course, we have a senator-elect in the studio. We'll be talking about the very dicey and interesting politics in the National Assembly. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. The governor of Imo State, Senator Uzodimma, has been speaking with us. There was a flag off of the dredging and the hydrographic survey of the Oguta Lake to the Atlantic Ocean. He was telling us about that. Let's turn back to him and get our closing moment on some of the issues that we're talking about. I mean, elections are coming. By tomorrow, your names and some of your other colleagues and contenders in the race in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State will be officially published. But if you look at what happened in the presidential election, your party lost in Imo State. And I mean, some people will say that this is a signal of what could happen to your party in November. Are you worried that your party's chances may be threatened?
Well, first of all, my party did not lose election in Imo State. I don't know what you mean by that. Otherwise, if I understand what the situation is, we had an election February 25th. And in Imo State, we produced 2 senators out of 3. We produced 4 members of the House of Assembly out of the 7 concluded ones. And the next week, which is March, we produced 25 members of House of Assembly out of 27. Is that how to lose an election? And what is more, politics is a dynamic thing. A day can mean eternity in political and power calculation. Only 2 weeks ago, 4 members of the House of Representatives of PDP decamped to APC. What does that got to tell you? Does that mean our party is going down or coming up? The process of building a political party is a continuous thing. And the decision on who will win an election and who will not win will be taken by Imo people, the voters here. So we are getting ready, trying to talk to our people, trying to serve them better, to believe in us the more, so that we'll be able to win our election very easily. And so far,
Senator Uzodimma, the Labour Party had over 360,000 votes in the presidential election this year. Your party had just about 66,000 or thereabout. That is a loss to your party. But I mean, if you are on the ballot for the November election, what would you be telling them? And why should the people of Imo State be looking into your direction?
Presidential election in Nigeria is not calculated and used to assess the result of gubernatorial election. In a presidential election, the result is called according to the number of votes cast in Nigeria. And the number of votes cast in Nigeria, APC won. At the governorship election, the result will be based on the number of votes cast in Imo State. And until that is done, nobody should beat his chest and say he is going to tell you this will be the result. But I'm trying to give you indicators pointing to the fact that the APC is the party to beat in Imo State. That the APC has done so well that there is already an exodus from other political parties coming into our great party APC. Only 2 weeks ago, 4 serving members of the Federal House of Representatives left their party and moved into APC, their PDP to APC. It means there's something attractive on the current design performance of APC-led government in Imo State. You know the 2 major factors that greeted the last presidential election, that of tribe, ethnicity, and the religion. I don't want to go into that. That is what we are calling Sudan. But it is my responsibility, your responsibility to create better awareness for our people. So we can begin to think Nigerian, act as Nigerians, and then behave like Nigerians. So it is not about where you come from or which religion that you go to. We are looking for leaders who have the capacity to serve, who have something to offer, who are pan-Nigerians.
Senator Uzodimma, would you say you have such characteristics? Would you say you have those traits that you are describing tonight? And I was asking, why should the people of Imo State look in your direction? Have you served them? Have you delivered? Have you performed to the point that they should look into your direction?
Just a few minutes ago, you asked me, why am I going to do dredging when I know it is the work of federal government? But you forgot that you were here when I commissioned the Oguta Road, dualized 35-kilometer roads, properly lit up, commissioned the Oguta Lake Road, dualized 59-kilometer roads. We're now about to commission the Oguta Road. All these are federal government roads, but I have used state resources to repair and construct all these roads, because these roads will be used by Imo State people and the other residents. It is not about whose role it is. It is that there must be synergy and collaborative agreement between the federal government, all tiers of government, whether it is local government, whether it is state government, whether it's federal government. Government is one. And in any event, what is democracy? Government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
We have to leave it there.
Taxpayers' money to bring optimum benefits.
All right. Senator Uzodimma, Governor of Imo State, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. We'll have to leave it there, and I wish you the very best in the coming days. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. Let's read guests now, everyone, and let's talk about what happened today. Some senators who are gunning for the Senate president seat had gone to the NWC, that's the National Working Committee of the APC, and they've taken a protest based on the zoning the party had. Senator Orji Uzor-Kalu, Senator-elect Abdulaziz Yari, and Senator Sani Musa, the three of them approached the national leadership and they spoke their mind, just like their colleagues in the Green Chamber yesterday did. Allow you to take a listen to what they said.
If net care is not taken, we play the way we want to go. We said, okay, assuming all of us say, no, okay, it's okay. And what is presented is not acceptable. And the opposition do the nomination and they have their way. There's going to be another wahala for us. So, Mr. Chairman, we're not undermining what we're doing, but we're doing this for the sake of this party to grow, and we're doing for the best interest of the president. Because as where we are talking today, if we from this side take another decision, it's not be good for all of us. We become history. So we don't want that to happen. And only that if we do justice.
All right, then you heard Senator Abdulaziz Yari. They're one of those aspirants for the Senate presidency seat. Let's now talk about these and what this means. One of the 109 senators that were senator-elect that will be in the 10th National Assembly is Honorable Sunday Karimi, who joins us live here in our studio. Thank you so much, Honorable. Indeed, what a time in your party. You saw those agitation yesterday, today is going on. And those who have said this might consume your party, this is a very false political test for the president-elect Bola Tinubu. Do you think that this might consume your party?
Sure. Thank you for having me. The agitations that are still ongoing is normal in a political setting. And let me tell you what the president-elect and the party leadership is trying to do is to get it right from the beginning.
They're getting it right, though.
Yeah. Let me remind
for a matter they've described as injustice. How would you sidetrack two major regions, North Central, out totally out of the equation? Your name was on that communique that was released by the North Central caucus, saying there is an injustice being meted out on the North Central, for example. The Northeast totally out of the equation. Oh, they have the president, vice president-elect. But again, how would you have Northwest occupying the Deputy Senate presidency and the House Speaker? Is that getting it right?
Okay. Like, yes, my name was on the list. When we started the agitation from North Central, before the party came out with its position, we all agreed that a deputy Senate president should be shown to North Central. But the party, in its wisdom, came out with the position. And let me tell you, for 8 years, between 1999 and 2007, Southeast had the Senate presidency. Between 2007 and 2015, 12 years. David Mark, 8 years. Bukola Saraki, 4 years. North Central had the Senate presidency. So the party in its wisdom felt, look, we want to do a thorough work. We want to do balancing. You know, when our president-elect chose a Muslim as running mate, it was a troubling time for the party. But the president-elect is interested in balancing the country. Is interested in making sure that all religion, ethnic group are well taken care of. And in his wisdom, with the wisdom of the national leadership, they said, look, the Senate presidency to be zoned to the South and a Southern Christian. And they opted for South-South, with the fact that Southeast had opportunity of producing the Senate president for 8 years. Not just that. The last election, either one want to believe it or not, APC performed woefully in Southeast. And they felt, look, okay, let deputy speaker be zoned to Southeast. Why South-South take the Senate presidency? And who is the highest rank senator senator-elect in South-South today? Senator Akpabio.
So, I mean, if that is your argument, Senator-elect Karimi, and for those who think that is very faulty.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking historically speaking, there are those who will tell you that the Northwest had under Speaker, Salisu Buhari, Kano State.
Yeah.
Gali Naba, Kano State. Aminu Masari, Katsina State. Aminu Tambuwa, Sokoto State. Yakubu Dogara, Bauchi State. These are all from the Northwest region of the country.
Yakubu Dogara is from Northeast.
Northwest. Northeast, apologies, Bauchi. And you will look at it, you have Masari, you have Galinaba, you have Tambuwa, you have Salisu Buhari, and then you look at it, you had President Buhari from the northwestern region of the country. You had late President Yaradua from the northwestern region of the country. Yeah. So how do you then defend that stand historically? Because you are looking at the historical perspective. Yeah. That those who are of the school of thought that kind of argument is untenable.
Look, what?
Because you have to look at the present scenario that is playing out. If you say Southeast did not perform for the APC,
too well,
what about the North Central? Didn't the North Central come through for your party?
Listen to me. North Central, we strongly agitated for Deputy Senate President. But the party came out with a position.
Does that mean the position is right?
After the party came up with the position, we met the North Central Caucus of Senators-elect, and there are different opinions. Some people said, look, with this position, let's agitate for some fighter committees to be zoned to us, so that we can still use that to impact positively on our people. Some felt, oh, let's ask them to give us the SGL, the secretary...
To the governor of the federation. Has that been agreed on?
The party is looking at that direction. of picking the SGF from North Central.
But that's within the executive. We're looking at the National Assembly.
Looking at the National Assembly.
When was the last time you've been in the National Assembly? You've had your time in the national experience in the National Assembly. Yeah. When was the last time you have two regions occupying two vital roles out of four presiding officers' role?
Let me say something, Sean. Yes, the Northwest has been given the Deputy Senate President and the Speaker. Yeah. They even strongly agitated for Senate presidency. But the President in his wisdom said, look, I know Northwest voted overwhelmingly for APC, but he will not be able to defend that with Nigerians if we have a situation that the number 3 person will be a Muslim, and surely the Speaker, the number 4 person, will also be a Muslim. Now, please, help me. Let Senate presidency go to South-South. Northwest now said, okay, give us Speaker and the DSP. With the scenario in the House of Rep today, by the time the Senate concludes its, the Senate will elect its leadership first. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what will happen with the speakership in the House.
All right. Let's close on this note, Senator-elect. Yeah. How does your party navigate avoiding the very terrible and dangerous path of the landmines that your party has stepped into in the past, and like thunder striking in the same spot twice or more than 2 times, it looks to me that is what is likely to happen. How does your party placate those who are aggrieved? Because the politics of the National Assembly is the politics in the hallowed chamber. No matter what you do outside, the party can be shortchanged.
Let me tell you, we still have about a month to the inauguration of the National Assembly. We are going to reach out to all elected members. And we are looking at even having Senator Akpabio as a consensus candidate, where, for now, over 70 senator-elect has endorsed his candidature.
Really? As of today?
As of today. And we are looking at a position where others will come in and join us, because that is the winning team.
All right.
And we cannot start the 10th Senate or the 10th National Assembly on a rowdy section. You recall how it went in the U.S. Congress.
All right.
We don't want to start with that.
Right. It doesn't look to me that your party will not be. This is going to be a very big test, perhaps more than what we've seen in the past. Honorable Sunday Karimi, Senator-elect from Kogi State, a member of the APC. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. I must apologize again for the glitch we had earlier in the program. Sincere apologies. But that's our show for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye for now.